Hello, beautiful souls. Elena Fouché here. I have some thoughts about how to deal with when you're highly sensitive and you've got all these emotions coming in. How do you deal with the overwhelm, and what do you do about that whole situation? And also, like, how to deal with protection and all of that kind of stuff. And so, someone was just telling me about their experience with this, and I was realizing as we were talking about it, yeah, I don't. What do I do? Okay, so a little bit of backstory. I grew up in a situation in which I thought it was hugely important to be constantly scanning the people around me, especially their negative, challenging emotions, because I thought that was going to keep me safe and alive. So it was like life or death importance that I do it. Great. So I got into this amazing habit of being hypervigilant all the time towards like the negative emotions, the painful or difficult emotions. Yeah, fast forward to as an adult, I felt crazy all the time because I was always like focused on all the terrible things that people were feeling. And of course, that's crazy making. It's also overwhelming and really tiring, or it can be. What a lot of people would do in this situation is create bubbles or eggs, some barriers, protection around themselves so that they don't take in other people's emotions. That's pretty smart. The problem is I suck at protection. Holding people out and maintaining a protective anything was just as tiring to me, if not more tiring, actually, than absorbing people's stuff. And so I was really bad at it. I couldn't maintain it. I couldn't keep it up. Like, this is too hard. So I had to figure out a different way. And so I did figure out a different way to deal out with all of this, and it doesn't involve protection. So let me explain, because this might help you figure out a good way for you to play with all of this that might be a little different. So, what I do so that I'm not absorbing other people's stuff is I have a practice of focusing on myself. So what I'm doing in general is making sure that the beginning of my focus, that my main focus is here. So I actually go into the center of myself, right? What is Elena feeling? What is Elena thinking? What sensations are in this body, right? But what's here in the core of me? And my thinking is that, if there's stuff coming in from the outside, where it's going to be the most me is going to be in the middle, right? And then some point I start hitting other people's stuff. But so I go for the center. So I go into the center. What am I feeling? What am I thinking? What's here? What's here? And I've noticed that as I do that, I get more and more clear about what's me versus what's everybody else. So this is the first thing. The second thing is it has this beautiful knock-on effect, this beautiful symptom or result, which is that as I'm focusing more on me and able to focus on me, that this center that's me gets a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger, so that it's almost like there's more of me. I'm a bit denser, right? I'm paying attention more to myself. I'm more aware of who I am, and I'm letting it fill my all my bodies, my own cells and my energetic bodies and all that. So I am consciously bigger. I'm a bit stronger. And in doing that, I don't actually need to protect myself from other people most of the time. I don't need to hold them out. It's not necessary, because their stuff's coming in and it just keeps going. Or it comes and maybe I let it in. Or, duck off a water's back. Like whatever's happening. And I'm not consciously having to protect. What I'm consciously doing is just, where am I? Who am I? What am I thinking? What am I feeling? Right? So that I know what's me versus what's them. And then it has this beautiful, natural effect. I don't need to protect. I don't get so overwhelmed by other people's stuff, because there's a difference between me and them. And it's just easier. The energy that I spend instead of trying to protect myself is energy on knowing who I am. All right. Hopefully that was clear. I hope that helps. See you next time.